Well, you're saying it's good, but honestly, we are finding a number of investments going down the stream, including the National Water and Sewage Corporation plant that is in Gaba, including a number of investments like hotels, among other things. Why didn't you sound believable right from the time you told all the stakeholders from the Ministry of Water and Environment and the National Environmental Management Authority? Why didn't you sound believable? Maybe if you sounded believable, they could have done something.
That's what I'm saying. Now it has come now when we are there and we want to speak to them again, speak to the population again, that they should believe us. They should believe us. You are saying, and I also know, a lot of investments have partly submerged and businesses have closed, including the government establishments like the Water and Sewage Corporation space in Gaba, the markets. You go to Lake Resort, Commonwealth Resort Munyonyo, you come to Serena, then Serena Chigo, then you come to those hotels in Entebbe. Most of them are not doing business.
You've been there.
I've been there
Right.
this week. I've been there. I've been to tour all those places. And if you go to a market in Gaba, I think it is called the Gaba Market. All of those. Now, why I'm saying it is good, it has not claimed lives. It has not. But then, if we don't do something, something worse than this will happen. Something worse than this will happen. The other day, we saw water taking an island. They call it moving island. It is not moving, only that because of the force of the water, it can shift a big volume of land, and then it can go and be able to hit those other dams at Narbare and Kira and other dams. And imagine if that dammed water, mass of water, is left to move, what would happen downwards? So there is a problem. That's what I'm saying. It is good that it is happening now so that we can do something. Now, the other time I was not believable, but now there is a reason to believe me.
All right. We've heard from the Minister of Water and we've heard from the Minister of Mineral Development, Mary Goretti Chitutu, saying that people are degrading the catchment areas. Right? How far and how true is such an allegation?
No, to me, I think it is a conglomeration of issues, of problems. Yes, degrading the wetlands, that is a major issue also. For example, when you go to Rutembe here, and you go to Chenawataka, those are places we know. But also when you go to Masaka in Ruera, and you see how government has allowed the investors to clear the wetlands, and then they dig the channel, and then the water goes uncontrolled. Then it ends up in Lake Victoria, and it adds on the force of the water. Not only that, you need also to look at other rivers like Kagera, like Ruiz in Mbarara, and all of those catchment areas. So all of those, the wetlands, for them, they limit the movement, the speed of water. That is one of the uses of those wetlands you see. But if you facilitate them, it is like when you have a house and you have paved the big compound. It means now all the water that is collected from the house, then it goes and into one place. So that's what happens. But also we are talking about forests, a forest like Mabira, which we are fighting for to remain, and other forests around this country. Those are catchment areas. But also you are talking about a number of houses, factories, industries, and other settlements, big and small, all of those collect a lot of water, but also you are clearing the vegetation, the forests, the trees, and whatever, the tree cover. So when you clear that one, all of those end up in the lake, and they increase on the force of that water. And that is not only happening in Uganda, it is also happening in Tanzania and in Kenya. So we must do something as a region, but also as a country, but also as a district. We must do something.
You see, variability in the climate is something that is not, we can't call a new phenomena. It's something that happened between 1961 and 1964. Are the bad or big rains or the bigger amounts of rain that we are receiving now turning out to be a disadvantage?
I wouldn't think that we have received all that much rain than before. I think for me the factors I'm mentioning are the ones that contribute to the havoc we are seeing. For example, I didn't tell you that we told government, we told the investors, we told everybody that putting a cascade of dams along River Nile, like for example we have Narubare, we have Kira, we have Bujagari, we have another dam, I think Simba Dam, and then you have Karuma and others. So all that, it means you are controlling the water in your understanding as an expert. So you are controlling it, you are releasing it, no, sorore. But you know, water is an expert itself. It knows better than anybody else. For example, it knows when it should occupy which space and when it should leave. And it knows the volume it should have. So when it has its space, leave it.
How are we then going to be able to generate all these watts of electricity that we are enjoying that reduce the cost of production, the ones that we use in the manufacturing? How may we then be able to put the thumb on the scale to get the rightful balance of electricity for economic development, particularly manufacturing, and then on the other hand, conserve the environment?
Have less electricity than having none at all. The other time when we are about to listen to the president's address, I think was the other week.
The 12th, it was something like the 10th address.
Yes, so that island came and brought all that force, and then it caused a breakout at Narbare Dam. It means if we do not have other sources of electricity, like solar, like other small dams, somewhere, and all that put together, would have missed the president's address. So what am I saying? I'm saying that, yes, while they're having those big dams together, a cascade of them, and you invest a lot of money, that is not okay, I can't say it is not sensible, but I think there is something, you are putting all your eggs in one basket. And when they break, then you have no eggs to eat. But if you are put it in different baskets, then if one breaks, then you have the other basket, then you can have your egg. So what am I saying? There are alternatives of getting power, of getting electricity. We have solar. So let's concentrate and see how we can harvest solar energy. Let's concentrate on how we can have biogas. Let's concentrate and see how we can have generate geothermal. But also there are small rivers where you can have production of some electricity, not too much. But with that one, it means they don't create a lot of havoc. Those are controllable, so that you remain with few dams. And I told them this. I said, even the cost of decommissioning some of those dams is highly costly. So let's not focus on those big dams, as I was telling them. Now, by the way, the government is planning to have another one in Murchison Falls National Park. So for them, they think putting all those, they are controlling water, they have more expertise than the water itself. That is not. Nature itself is more of an expert than ourselves. Nature, you see. For example, you cannot control the sun. You cannot control the rain. You are talking about climate change. Yes, you can, but you cannot control it. You cannot tell when it is going to rain and by how much. You can't. But what you do with your little wisdom, you can see either you plant trees, either you harvest some water for irrigation. But when it comes with its own expertise, then you have